So if you're looking for a natural way to detoxify your liver and your kidneys, this video will walk you right through the steps. I will show you why concentrating on kidney detoxification first is of primary importance, and then tackling the liver. I will give you all the foods that are appropriate for both and let you know what the kidneys and the liver like and do not like. So by the time you watch this video, you will know which foods to use to detoxify and how to do so safely and effectively. You'll have a better understanding of how your body works and what detox can do for your health. So kidneys are pretty much your filters. When it comes to detoxification, and specifically the lymphatic waste, which is the acidic waste that the body produces, so this system basically works 24/7 to keep you clean. So also it makes sure that the system can circulate correctly to the kidneys and be purged effectively. This is really important because if the lymphatic system and the kidneys do not take out this waste from the body, the waste will just keep circulating within the body and cause a lot of damage to the cells. So think about all this acidic waste just being next to your cells and degenerating each cell day by day. And that's what happens when we see a lot of the disease progression and what happens during chronic disease. It's basically a localized process of cell degeneration. And this is caused by a stagnant lymphatic system that cannot work properly with the kidneys. This is why during detox, we always prioritize the kidneys. We always prioritize strengthening the kidneys to make sure the lymphatic system can do its job, and then the kidneys can work with the lymphatic system to take out all the unnecessary acidic burden from the body. So yes, the kidneys are your filter. Imagine a filter filtering dirty, polluted water. So the kidneys work under a similar premise. Although they don't purify what comes out, they actually purge what doesn't come out. So in a way, they take what's dirty and they just remove it from the body. So you can think of the kidneys as basically the gatekeepers of the bathroom. The bathroom is your lymphatic system. That's where your cells go to the bathroom. They excrete all their waste, and that's where the body purges everything that it no longer serves it, so it can circulate back to the kidneys to be purged. So that's your bathroom. Your blood is your kitchen. So that's where the nutrients are being created so they can be circulated to the cells and tissues, and that actually feeds the cells. So you have two sides of basically the home. You have the kitchen and you have the bathroom. And when it comes to detoxification, we're always dealing with the bathroom side of the house. So your bathroom always has to work. The plumbing has to work. So if the lymphatic system and the kidneys, which are part of this bathroom makeup, are not working correctly, just think of what happens when you have a pipe leak in the bathroom and all the waste is now basically flooding your big house. You're going to smell it, you're going to feel it, there's going to be a lot of damage that's going to occur. So that's kind of what happens similarly within your body. You just really can't see it until you feel it as a symptom, as a chronic condition, and so forth. So that's the importance of the lymphatic system and the kidneys. And detox always deals with that side of life. So if you remember one thing about detox, it is that it deals with the lymphatic system and the kidneys. And that is why the kidneys are very, very important to strengthen during the detoxification process and to filter. So when the kidneys aren't filtering, that's what makes us in need of detox. We feel sluggish, we feel under the weather, we feel mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. We don't feel the best that we could feel, or if this progresses further, we tend to have symptoms. So symptoms of could be anywhere in the weakest area of our bodies. So if we're predisposed to a weakness in the heart, we can have certain symptoms there, or if we have symptoms in our, let's say, in our, such as spasms in our muscles, that's also a side effect of lymphatic system stagnating some of our endocrine glands. So all of this is related. And if you think about the sewage chewing up all the cells and not coming out because the kidneys are compromised, that shows you the importance of making sure your filters are working. So during detoxification, the first thing in order is to strengthen the kidneys. And once we strengthen the kidneys, we can then focus on the liver. So, the liver. A lot of people think the liver is a detoxification organ, that it works like the kidneys. It helps the body detoxify waste. But actually, the liver is not a detoxification organ. It detoxifies certain heavy metals and certain non-soluble toxins, but most likely it stores them or sends them to the guts to be expelled, if the guts can expel it. So actually it is more of an alchemical type of an organ, but it doesn't necessarily deal with detoxification per se. It helps to transmute, and it helps to store and protect. And it's known to do 2,000 other processes in the body. So it is a very, very, very special organ. And no wonder we call it the liver. And because of the nature of just how much the liver does, it is very important to unburden a lot of its activity. And a lot of its activity is to hold on to toxins that are not soluble, water soluble, and that are very harmful. So it does that by holding on to all of these heavy metals and toxins and chemicals that we touch through our skin and that are then ushered in through the blood and taken to the liver to be reprocessed, retransmuted, or kept safely within the liver walls to be expelled when the body has more energy and when the body is more capable to deal with this level of toxicity. So just like all the cells in the body, the liver cells are very intelligent. If the body is dysregulated, a lot of its processes will make sure that it doesn't overburden the body with even more toxins, with even more stress. So the body's always trying to regulate itself. And if it doesn't have the means to do that, it will compensate. So this compensation usually involves what we feel as symptoms, because over time compensating doesn't work anymore and things start to break down. So by detoxing, you basically unburden the body from having to compensate, resetting it in some natural way so it can regulate more effectively, and we give it the energy so it can go ahead and ignite its self-healing mechanisms and purge what it doesn't need. So it's in a way a process of getting the body back to its natural state. So let's talk about the kidneys. What kind of foods do they like? What is really harmful for them? So kidneys really, really, really thrive in a hydrating environment. So hydration is key to helping the kidneys filter. Hydration in terms of fruit, hydration in terms of purified water, anything that's very juicy and natural is very good for the kidneys. That comes from nature, that's innately full of water content, and most of the time this composition ensures that also that fruit or vegetable is probably full of electrolytes. So electrolytes are basically energy sources. They're compounds of energy that when they interact with the body, they create more energy. That's exactly why they're called electrolytes. They create electricity. So the kidneys need a lot of energy to do the work of purging the lymphatic system, and they do a lot more than that. But in terms of cleansing, this is a very heavy and intensive process. And when we're healing, that means that we have to acquire a lot of that energy from our foods. Fruit is the essential food group with the highest energy levels found anywhere in nature. So if you need more energy, if you're looking for more energy, fruit is your food source. So when it comes to cleansing, not only do we need the energy, we also need cleansing chemistry. And cleansing chemistry is usually called astringent chemistry. And you can also find this astringent chemistry in fruit as opposed to vegetables, which are a bit more grounding, not as cleansing, definitely alkaline, meaning that they do provide energy for the body, but they don't clean as well as fruits. So when you think of kidneys, and because they're involved in this cleansing, purging process of all the waste, you have to think in terms of fruit, high fruit diet. So kidneys love astringency, they love cleansing chemistry, any electrolyte chemistry. They really, really like simple chemistry, so they don't want to deal with complexity of foods. Basically, complex chemistry, period, is going to be heavily taxing on the kidneys. So we want to stay away from any complex foods, any complex meals, and simplify all of that. So we get all of the nutrition and all of that energy from very few sources, so the kidneys don't have to work to take all that chemistry and energy to then do the job they're meant to do. So it's basically just making sure that digestion is not compromised, that the digestion doesn't use a lot of the energy that the kidneys need to do their work and all of that. So simplicity will ensure that you don't use a lot of your energy for digestion, that all that energy can be then funneled to the kidneys and to the liver and to the other elimination organs such as your skin and your lungs and your gut and so many more interconnected processes that the body uses to get rid of waste. So if kidneys like fruit and they need energy, what is something that they really don't like? Well, they really don't like protein. So of course, we're taught that protein is really good for us, that it's something that we should have every day. It's one of the most essential elements our bodies need. But did you actually know that protein is one of the hardest elements to digest and process? Because kidneys are also involved in this complex decomposition of the protein molecule into amino acids. And this takes a lot of energy. A complex protein is basically an element, a structure that has many different amino acid compositions. So let's talk a little bit about proteins. Proteins are actually complex structures made of many chains of amino acids. And it is actually those amino acids that our bodies need. They don't need that complex structure chemistry. They simply need those foundational elements of amino acids. Those are the repair mechanism elements. Those are the structures that are going to help us with building muscle and so forth. But they themselves are now in this big complex structure that the body has to take care of. So amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. And that is what the body needs in its essential form. When it has to digest the complex protein, it loses a lot of energy. And that energy can be used for healing. It can be used for the bodily processes, for cellular energy, for our ability to regulate different systems. So this is precious energy that the body doesn't have to go through if it gets only amino acids. But we usually see and we are told that the complex protein is what we should have, what's good for us, what the body needs in that form. And these are basically your meats, your nut butters, nuts, and all of the natural sources of protein that we can think of. But amino acids are actually present in fruits and vegetables. So the body gets from fruits and vegetables all the protein sources it needs in the basic form that it needs it in. So that is really important to know, that you can get your protein source from fruits and vegetables. and actually in a format that is more compatible to your body and that is more friendly to your energy reserves. So this complexity of proteins burdens the kidneys. So down the line, if you see anyone who's suffering from kidney failure or gut failure, just look at their diet and see if it's full of protein, if it's protein rich. And chances are that it probably is. So kidneys are burdened by heavy protein intake, and so is the colon. So if you want to regenerate the kidneys and give our guts support and nourish our colon, we don't want to burden it with complex protein. Another thing that the kidneys really don't like is salt. So salt in itself is not the problem. It's the quantities at which we internalize the salt that dysregulates all the other minerals from being absorbed. So kidneys regulate absorption of minerals. They basically handle mineral utilization. That is the job of the adrenal glands that sit on top of the kidneys. So they work together to utilize minerals for what the body needs them for. So if we internalize too much of one mineral, it causes so much dysregulation in terms of how the other minerals are being used by the body. And given the modern day society's proclivity to favor salty foods, to include salt in, all types of cooking, and to eat all kinds of processed and fast foods, we are taking in more salt than our bodies can handle. And most of these salts are actually very artificial. So when we isolate a compound from its natural habitat, which could be an apple or a banana, and in this habitat, that element is used to working with other compounds. So let's say a sodium is working with magnesium to help regulate a certain process in our bodies. But once you strip away that compound, let's say the calcium from magnesium, and they can't interact with one another, then you're disabling that compound from actually working in the body the way it's designed to work. So by stripping away or isolating or creating different supplements or compounds and taking those on in their stripped form, that is not going to help the body in the way that nature designed it. Nature designed everything to work in a synergetic manner. So when you're eating an apple, you're not only eating the vitamin C that the apple offers, you're also eating the magnesium in the proportion that it can be absorbed with the vitamin C and with the vitamin B. So all the vitamins and minerals are in their right proportion to be absorbed in the right way, and so the body can use them for the right process. When we take that away and we use our lab science to isolate and pervert and adulterate these compounds, then we're not going to see the body interact with them in a way that is going to be regulating, that's going to be healthy for the body. We may basically just pee all of those compounds out of our body, or the body will not know how to use them, so it's going to just purge them out. So now that you know that the kidneys don't like protein and salt in high amounts, especially artificial or complex in nature, what else can you do for your kidneys? So in traditional Chinese medicine, every organ corresponds to a certain emotion, and this emotion can either be high vibrational or low vibrational. For example, the kidneys are the seat of the emotion of fear and anxiety. So that's the lower vibrational frequency of the kidney emotion. So some higher aspects of this kidney emotion could be will and confidence and being able to take on the world with self-assurance. So just like the kidney-friendly food that you take in, the emotions act the same way. They're basically chemical, energetic response system that either lowers the energy level of the kidneys or it brings the energy level up. So basically food is your chemistry, and so are your emotions. They're just chemistry in motion. energy in motion. So now let's talk about the liver. So if you have to know only one thing about what the liver really likes in terms of food, that one thing could just be this category, and that's the category of bitters. So the liver really, really likes bitter chemistry. The bitter chemistry helps detoxify all of the liver walls, the cells, the internal functions, and it keeps the liver clean. So the bitters are associated with the liver. These bitters can be anything from, chicory root to arugula to mustard greens, all of those bitter salads that you can think of. That is what the liver really, really likes. Another thing the liver likes is beets. Beets are very, very good for cleaning the blood. They're great for liver function. One of the primary jobs of the liver is to clean the blood. So the beets are helping to do both. They're helping to strengthen the liver and helping the blood cleanse itself. So if you add beets with bitter greens and have them together, this is a wonderful synergetic way to combine all the good liver-friendly compounds together and have them work alongside each other. You can also add anything else that's good for kidneys is also great for the liver. So adding, different herbs, different spices, that really also helps with the liver. So just a quick side note about the importance of all of these foods being organic. When we're detoxifying, we don't want to actually take in more chemicals that will burden the liver and the kidneys, especially the liver, because a lot of these chemicals that are found in non-organic foods, most of this non-organic foods and produce contains glyphosides and other compounds, other chemicals that are heavy metal based. That's why it's essential to use only organic foods when you detoxify. So yes, liver loves bitter greens. Liver loves all the things that the body loves. So all the good fruits and vegetables. Also, you can help the liver clean with liver-friendly herbs such as burdock root, dandelion root, and milk thistle. And the liver also corresponds to certain emotions. And these emotions, to a higher degree, could be joy, and could be prosperity, could be self-esteem, and ability to manifest. So the lower vibrational aspect of the liver emotion is anger and resentment. Over time, if we're in anger or in resentment for long periods of time and we never deal with these emotions, this can impact the function of the liver. And you can tell that maybe your liver is overburdened is if you have anger issues. And as we talked about, the liver does not like chemicals. So chemicals coming from the outside through the skin is one of the major and main ways that we bring chemicals inside the body. Everything that we place on the skin, be it cosmetics, lotions, perfumes, is absorbed inside the body. So make sure to substitute all your chemical products with natural products, meaning their ingredients are all natural, you can pronounce them, and if you wouldn't eat them, you basically wouldn't put them on your body. And just as the kidneys don't like a lot of complex protein and salt, the liver doesn't like a lot of fat. So decrease the amount of fat you have in your daily diet. This means cooking with less oil, or making sure that what you eat is not fatty. There's no processed fats. Trans fats are pretty much the worst. So when you're on this detox, going pretty much very low fat to no fat when it comes to your liver detoxification is going to be key. So bringing everything together in terms of kidneys and liver, now that we learned what the kidneys and liver like and don't like, how can we combine all this information into a daily protocol that we can follow? So my advice is to always concentrate on the kidneys first. So fruit for breakfast is essential when it comes to kidney health and detoxification. Then I would have either a lunch or dinner salad that's full of bitter greens, beets, and all the kidney and liver friendly herbs. And then finally, I would give the body a break meaning fasting, so the body can now utilize all the energy from the foods we've given it to rest and to use that energy for healing. So keep it simple. So when you're detoxifying, you want to make sure you're hydrated. And my favorite way to do so is to have cold pressed juices or lemon water or ginger lemon water, anything that's going to help the body hydrate. Anything that's going to add the elements of electricity, electrolytes into the water, or through herbal tea. So any way you can get those herbs inside of you is a wonderful way, be it through tea, through tinctures. Herbs are very tissue specific, so you can choose certain herbs to help your kidney function, you can choose certain ones for your liver, or you can choose a mix of herbs that helps to eliminate toxins from the body. You can go with a detox herbal protocol herbal kit, or herbs that just specifically help with detoxification. So that is what we're looking for. We're looking for herbs that help to strengthen the kidney function, strengthen the liver function, the lymphatic flow, and elimination organ function. So my favorite way to take herbs is to have herbal tea in the morning. But if you want to go even deeper with herbs, my suggestion is to invest in an herbal tincture. So herbal tinctures are concentrated medicines that basically take all the goodies, all the best compounds out of the herb and preserve 97 to 99% of them, meaning that these tinctures, which are either glycerin or alcohol based, contain most of the healing aspects of that herb. So when you take tinctures, you actually bypass a lot of the digestive processes, and that goodness, those herbs, directly go into the bloodstream and into the organs they're meant to help. So investing in a tincture is a must. I would go with the kidney tincture because that's the most essential tincture we need. It's the most essential organ we have to support in the detoxification journey. And if you like this content and would like to support the channel, please give me a thumbs up, become a subscriber. Thank you for watching, and take care of yourself.